At the AIC, while we're really well known for our 3D scans and vehicle testing, behind the scenes, a big part of our business is GVM Upgrade, engineering and federal approvals for Australian companies. So the 250 series Prado is obviously our next big priority. So what we've done is we've got the 300 series parts out to understand what are the differences. So here, this is our 300 series diff housing, one of the ones we use for testing. And it's physically been tested in quite a few different ways, as well as being cut apart for material testing. And one of the first things we've noticed, well, you would have seen on a previous reel that the material thickness is 20 to 25% thinner on the Prado. This plate that goes off the 300 series actually won't go onto the 250. So you've got a physically smaller diff housing and bolt pattern on the Prado than you do on the 300 series. Also got thinner material section through here as well. So while physically it might even bolt in, it looks very, very similar. Our scans are just processing now and we'll know for sure shortly. It is definitely a physically smaller diff and the OEM axle rating is lower accordingly. We've got some other parts over here, so lower control arms, bump stops, they all, like all the spring helpers, they all look very similar. But if you get to say the knuckle, so we've got a Prado knuckle here and we've got a 300 series knuckle here. And again, they look super similar, except for the fact that we've really had a go at this one and done testing. But it's just smaller. So the sections are smaller everywhere. The knuckles, the steering stub is quite small. So everything everywhere really kind of just sort of feels like a smaller brother to the 300 series. And this is the front upper control arm. So apart from the bit that's missing, you can see they look kind of similar, but on the 300 series, it's actually boxed in all through the bottom here and welded in, whereas the Prado is left open. So again, everywhere we look, Toyota's made a big effort to make sure that this really is a little brother to the 300 series. And that will be reflected in the GVM programs as well, because you just won't be able to push this thing to an area where 300 series lives. Of course, there's a bunch of other parts to be assessed as well. So the dampers are in our row rig, damper dyno. We've got our springs being spring rate tested, bush testing, brake testing. You know, we can see that the brakes are very similar to 300 as well. So, but the vehicle still has to be tested because it's a whole different powertrain. So there's all these things that have got to be done. We're working through them quite quickly, as quick as we can. But GVM upgrades, they're not an overnight thing. This will take a couple of months before you're going to see those out there. We're going to keep working on this. It's an absolute high priority for us. And we'll be getting this work done properly to make sure the GVM upgrades that are done through us are safe for the customers and users.